A night journey to Sonprayag, my unplanned adventure in the Himalayas. After an exciting day of rafting and enjoying some tea and coffee at the local cafes, Jayant and Sahil decided to head to Hisar, driven by their own set of plans. The day after our thrilling night of rafting, they embarked on their journey. Jayant, intrigued by the prospect of an 8-day, 150-kilometer rafting trip, bombarded the rafter with questions, aiming to gather all the details for a potential future adventure. While the idea of spending 8 days in cold water sounded thrilling, the looming question about the nights made him wonder. He was in the midst of a weight loss plan, and sticking to a diet was proving challenging. Despite this, Jayant, being the sporty guy he is, made the most of our time. And as we bid our goodbyes, the suggestion to continue the journey together until Kedarnath prompted laughter. They promised to start their adventure once I signaled from Kedarnath. That day we spontaneously decided to head to Gaurikund. Without any plans in place, we inquired about bus services, only to discover that they all departed at the early hour of 3:30 a.m. In the evening around 5 p.m. we decided to check our options. And fortunately we managed to figure out our travel plans. My luggage was quite hefty, a 90-liter backpack, a sleeping bag, a yoga mat, and more. These two guys, Pradeep and Dhanush, packed a bit lighter than me, even though our planning spanned 6 months, making my backpack particularly hefty. This marked my first time venturing into such challenging terrain, where ice replaced familiar snow and hills transformed into towering mountains. As Jayant and Sahil departed, they generously settled the ashram bill, saving us some money. The accommodating brahmachari didn't ask for much, understanding that we would be returning soon, at least Pradeep and Dhanush would be. Departing from the ashram at 2:30 a.m., Bhavuk had arranged for a car through a newspaper delivery service. The road from Rishikesh to Kedarnath only opened after 5 a.m., covering a 250-kilometer drive lasting approximately 6 hours until Sonprayag. Rudraprayag was our first destination, and from there, it was an additional 2 hours to reach Sonprayag. The entire journey unfolded amidst picturesque mountain ranges, showcasing villages precariously built on slopes and locals engaged in farming. The landscape was breathtakingly beautiful, but life in these areas could be challenging due to the extreme seasons experienced throughout the year. We waited until 3:30 a.m. for the driver, but he wasn't answering our calls. While we were on the streets, a car pulled over and asked about our destination. We explained that we were waiting for a bus to Sonprayag, Gaurikund. The driver said he was headed the same way and offered us a ride. Negotiating the fare, we settled at rupees, 400 per head, and gladly hopped into the car. As we neared Rudraprayag, my phone rang. It was the bus conductor. He demanded to know our location, and I informed him that we were in Rudraprayag. He erupted into anger, complaining about how we could travel without paying, despite confirming our seats. He argued relentlessly, insisting that we pay up. I calmly explained that they were late, and we had opted for an alternative option. I refused responsibility for payment, but he continued with unnecessary comments, trying to guilt-trip me. Pradeep came to the rescue, suggesting that I switch off my phone and get some sleep since it was a night ride. The driver made a stop at the confluence of 2 rivers, Alaknanda and Mandakini, known as the Sangam in Rudraprayag. In the early morning darkness, we could barely make out the temple and hear the roaring flow of the rivers. Despite the chill, we all got out, stretched our legs, and took in the mesmerizing beauty. The morning sky gradually revealed the colors of the rivers, a beautiful sight to behold. These rivers later merge and become the sacred Ganga at Triveni Sangam. Unfortunately, our luck took a turn when the driver surprised us by announcing that he couldn't continue the journey. However, he assured us that he could arrange another vehicle for the trip to Sonprayag. Though frustrated, we had no choice but to agree. Excitement was high after witnessing the mountains and terrain, so we eagerly waited for the alternative vehicle. The driver assisted us in negotiating the fare, and we finally reached Sonprayag, tired but thrilled. Hungry, Pradeep and Dhanush ventured out in search of a hotel for breakfast. Spotting a small restaurant frequented by many workers, we decided to give it a try. It was a humble hut-like establishment with an open kitchen where one person kneaded the dough while another took orders. We ordered 3 parathas to kickstart our meal. After a hearty breakfast, Pradeep realized he had left his shoes in the van that dropped us at the hotel. Frantically, he searched for the van, found the owner's number, and was relieved to hear that he would get his shoes back by 10 a.m. We waited, seizing the opportunity to explore accommodation options. Bhavuk called to check on our whereabouts and recommended a lodging that was both comfortable and affordable. Following his advice, we visited the suggested spot. The owners were called, and they guided us to their house on the nearest hill, still under construction as they prepared for the upcoming pilgrimage season. They warned us that in 3 weeks, the place would be bustling with people. As the day unfolded, we relished the picturesque afternoon and enjoyed the cool evenings. The beds were plush, adorned with super thick quilts that felt like cozy cocoons. Behind our cottage towered a tall mountain, with another one covered in ice standing proudly behind it. The sheer proximity to the Himalayan range left us in awe. The grandeur of the mountains was truly overwhelming. Our lunch was served by the housekeeper, and we casually found spots to sit, being the first guests of the season. The cottages and the kitchen were not entirely ready yet, but it didn't bother us. The cook shared that he had just arrived from another village the day before. Many people migrate for work during this season, taking advantage of the opportunity to earn money. They usually stay until November and then return to their respective villages with their earnings. A friendly German shepherd added to the charm of our stay. His loud yet comforting presence made him the perfect companion in this challenging terrain. Evening tea became a cherished ritual, complemented by views that were unforgettable and impossible to capture adequately in photographs. This was an experience one should have at least once in a lifetime. All of this was right here in India. There's no need to travel elsewhere. The country boasts numerous mystical destinations, and wandering through them brings about a change from within. It's a truly transformative experience that leaves an indelible mark, causing life to undergo a positive and profound transformation.